Let's talk a little bit about being able to measure, being able to build a business case, being able to get executive buy-in because you are measuring and utilizing your events to further push company objectives and goals.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the three things together, I don't see a situation where a corporate can exhibit at a trade show and there not be a carbon impact, right? Because so much of the carbon impact is from the travel that, that's the air travel in particular, and the hotel stay is associated, right? The reality is that's not going away. And if you imagine, the graph moving forward in terms of cost pressure and carbon pressure, a perfect storm is brewing around
It's
the
going like this.
disruption
Yes.
of the events
Yes.
industry. And the antidote to that is prove the value, right? Because, there's only an extent to which you can mitigate and reduce the carbon impact of any exercise you do. And of course, there's a moral obligation, and quite rightly, we should be doing everything we can to reduce that carbon impact. But what's the business case? That's what it ultimately comes down to. And I seriously fear that if in 3 years' time we are the least measured or the least measurable channel amongst all the channels that are increasingly more measurable, whilst we're also the most expensive and the most carbon consuming, we are a sitting duck for disruptions. So yeah, it comes down to how are you going to measure and how you make that, like, the conversation is around what proof, what is proof, what is proof to the stakeholders that need that evidence, and what's the best approach to being able to consistently justify the case for
Mhm.
whatever event activity that you undertake.
One thing I've been thinking about that I want to relay really quickly is that I think you just say, hey, what's the ROI? It becomes this daunting idea of how to do it. How I think, what are we measuring? Why are we measuring it? All those things take experience. It's not simple, right? So we don't want to make it sound simple. One thing that I've been thinking about is how do events impact a company, right? I think you need to understand that for your company first, right? Is it net new business? Is it customer resurgence, right? Are you having discussions on the show floor at a conference with a customer that has been a customer on and off for years, or maybe their spend is little? You do a dinner, they come to the booth, you show them something new, you have a new contact. All these things happen at events, and then their spend goes up, right? Do you have deal stage acceleration? So, like, do you have deals that are just actively moving through your stages quicker because of a touch point at event? That tells me that you probably have to tag deals, meaning that you had a touch point at an event. It doesn't mean it's the lead source, but it means that you had some kind of tagging at an event. I say something like stage one unlock. You have a lot of companies that get a lot of general marketing leads that go into a bit of a stage one, or they just come in. But are those people at the shows? Are you unlocking them by having conversations, going to a dinner, being at your booth, being in an activity, whatever it may be? I think you have to start to understand, what are you doing at your events? Because not everybody does the same thing, but these are sort of the happenings that are going on. This is like the inertia, the things that are happening that create the impact that then has to be measured to create that ROI.